Question: have you ever heard someone talk about how much they loved the Naruto anime and the side cast for it, but they just can't stand the character Naruto himself? And it's not like he's not important to the plot, the show is literally named after him. One Piece isn't called Luffy, and Bleach isn't called Ichigo. The story itself is centered around his adolescent life, so it got me thinking, how could so many people love the story and hate the protagonist that the story revolves around? So today I decided to scour the internet and the online forums to try to figure out this phenomenon of why Naruto Uzumaki is the most hated or disliked protagonist in anime. Well, it's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure Eren Yeager is a lot more hated, for example, but you get my point. I'll use my research to present to you guys the most popular reasons as to why people dislike Naruto, and then I'll provide my own opinions. Exhibit A. Probably one of the most popular reasons I see people list when they explain why they don't like Naruto Uzumaki. He's annoying, which I assume is more so targeted at his character in part 1. I understand. It's part of his gimmick, a trope pretty popular amongst shonen protagonists. He's just this loudmouthed knucklehead after all. I also don't think his catchphrases or the English dub makes it any better. I personally don't mind Naruto's English voice, but I've gotten pretty used to it, so I can see why some people aren't fans. While I can't see why so many people share this opinion, I never found him to be that annoying as a genin. Personally, I always found Luffy to be much more annoying, you know, his shrieks and whatnot, at least in the English dub. Also, Genin Naruto himself being annoying is supposed to be a character flaw, and the author does a pretty good job explaining it too. Hiruzen, the third Hokage, explains it to Iruka and in turn, the audience. Naruto's a lonely boy, an orphan that no one really cares for. All the villagers ever show him is either indifference or contempt, so he acts out just to try to get people to notice him, to get some form of acknowledgement. So yeah, Naruto at the beginning of the story is annoying, but he's meant to be that way. Exhibit B. Hard work beats talent, and Naruto never being a true underdog. Riddle me this. How many people have you heard argue that Naruto didn't have to work hard, that he was given all of his power-ups, that Rock Lee's much more of an underdog, and that Neji was right on what he said to Naruto during their fight in the Chunin exams, that everyone has a destiny and that not anyone can just become Hokage, that only a select few have been selected by fate for such a role? Well, I mean, Neji wasn't incorrect in what he said for sure. I guess the one thing he was wrong about was his assumption that Naruto wasn't one of those people selected by fate, that there's such a thing as late bloomers. But otherwise, yes, not anyone can just become Hokage. And I think what Neji said applies a lot more to Rock Lee than to Naruto. Naruto fighting him as well, trying to argue that anyone can change their destiny, makes him come off as a bit of a hypocrite. But in Naruto's defense, it's not like he knows just how high the cards are stacked up in his favor. Naruto may not have been about how hard work beats talent, but it's more so about perseverance, or the guts to never give up. He may have been the son of the fourth Hokage, but it's not like he knew that. He may have had the nine-tailed fox, but it's not like it was easy to master, and it's not like using the fox's powers came risk-free. It was a constant struggle for control, something highlighted in Naruto's fight against Orochimaru in the Tenshi Bridge arc. I got a video on it where I dive a bit deeper into this, so yeah, he had his own kind of struggle to deal with. I can agree that he's definitely not a hard work beats talent individual, but based on just how early this was in the series, it makes sense why he thinks the way that he does. Exhibit C, the talk-no-jutsu, something that could be worth a whole video in itself. Now I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know what the talk-no-jutsu is. For those that don't, it's basically when Naruto talks a villain out of being a bad guy. Well, it's not as simple as that, but basically, since a majority of the villains are parallels to Naruto and resemble the protagonist in one way or another, like Gaara, Nagato, Obito, and Sasuke, They're all characters that Naruto can relate to in one way. So once Naruto has defeated these characters, yes, the talk-no-jutsu only happens strictly after Naruto defeats his opponent. He uses the mutual sentiments between the both of them to try to help the person see the error in their ways. A lot of people are not big fans of the talk-no-jutsu, and they think it's a cheap way to resolve a villain's character arc. Though I do have to remind everyone that the talk-no-jutsu not only happens after Naruto has already defeated said opponent, Naruto can only use it against opponents that he can actually relate to. That's why he never tries it with Madara, for example. But yeah, this whole talking to your enemy and making him see how what he's doing is wrong is just too idealistic. And while I do agree that it's not that realistic, in the context of Naruto being basically the Messiah, the savior of the world, the child of prophecy, it makes a lot more sense then. And then we get to the he was the coolest guy. Oh god, I don't even want to get into that. Being overly forgiving. That's one of the things Naruto gets hated for. After everything that Obito had done, how could Naruto say that? And I understand where people are coming from, but like I said, stuff like that does fly when it comes to Messiah-like figures. If we look at messiahs from the Abrahamic religions, Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, they were all about forgiveness once a person truly repents. Obito truly repented. He used whatever time was left for him to try to right his wrongs, and even he himself thought he was irredeemable. Naruto saw that Obito, the one that was trying to do what's right. You might not be able to forgive Obito, but Naruto can. By that point, Naruto had transcended well past being just a mere human, which is what a lot of people seem to dislike. Even the idea of the reincarnates, Naruto being the Messiah, seems to not sit well with some of the more OG fans. And while I get it, it is all pretty grandiose, all I can say is that's just the direction that the show headed towards. You can hate it if you want, but that's just how it is. Naruto's just that guy. Exhibit D. Okay, now we're finally at the last one. Naruto's unwavering loyalty for his former teammate. Or basically, Naruto simping for Sasuke. This time it's more applicable in Shippuden. Naruto's relentless pursuit of Sasuke, and Sasuke keeps telling him to fuck off essentially. And what makes it worse is when Naruto breaks down and cries, or takes a beating from Karui in Sasuke's place. It's off-putting to some of the audience. But then again, this is all kinda tied to Naruto being this divine being, and him and Sasuke being brothers in another life. But first, going back to the Karui thing. Yes, it was messed up, but you have to remember that Naruto can heal pretty easily with the Nine-Tails power. So that beating he took was really nothing to him. This was him trying to take on all of the world's hatred by himself. I speak about this in greater detail in my 5 Kage Summit video, which I highly recommend. It's one of my personal favorites in the channel. But yeah, Naruto's pursuit of Sasuke does sound pretty desperate. He'll follow him even when everyone's telling him to stop, even when Sasuke himself is saying he doesn't want to be saved. The way that I saw it, Sasuke was a challenge for Naruto, a milestone he had to complete on his road to become the Hokage, a road which obviously would be filled with a lot of hardships, and Sasuke would just have to be one of those hardships for Naruto. I know that most people won't berate themselves in public for Sasuke, but this goes back to what I said earlier. Naruto's not just anybody. He's above being embarrassed, and what he thinks is embarrassing is not succeeding in rescuing his friend, or being considered inferior to Sasuke in terms of fighting. Naruto's never felt ashamed about sharing his personal feelings out loud. Bringing Sasuke back was just something he had to do. Let's not forget that he was trying to resolve a centuries-long conflict between Ashura and Indra. It was bound to be pretty messy. Now, if I were to have an Exhibit E, then it'd have to be Naruto's over-the-top power-ups, especially in the late war arc, but I don't think that Naruto's special in that category. and most shonen protagonists have over-the-top OP abilities. Him being annoying as a kid is not really a big deal. He's a kid after all. I think the most part that people can't get behind is all this fate and destiny, this hard work versus talent underdog debacle, which I think is more so applicable to Rock Lee. Naruto was never meant to be the underdog that got to where he wanted to by hard work. It was more so about determination. Like I said, the guts to never give up, as they call it. It's about perseverance. Naruto had to endure a lot of hardships, so it was more about maintaining himself and making it through all of these hardships to get to where he was meant to go. Every hardship led him to a new milestone. His parents died, he gained the Nine Tails. Jiraiya died, he learned Sage Mode. I understand why a lot of people share those criticisms. It's not very realistic, but it's not meant to be. Naruto's the chosen one. He may be overpowered, he may be too good to be true, but you know, he is fictional. And as for the Sasuke thing, well, all I can say about that is at least we got some good memes out of it. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Leave a like if you've learned something new, and stay tuned because I have a lot of videos that I'm working on. Peace.